welcome on into another episode of Getting Well with Terry and Friends. I'm Terry, Nick beside me, Ryan down below. We are ready to break down some Thursday NHL. No NFL tonight. It's weird having a Thursday with no NFL, but because it's the last week of the season, I guess there is no Thursday night football. But we have a ton of hockey to get into, so we'll jump right into the first game here. New York Rangers minus 188 to minus 205. Montreal plus 155 to plus 175. Mostly sixes. 1.5 available in this game. Honestly, when Halak was confirmed earlier today, I kind of expected, I anticipated more of a jump to the 6.5 with the totals. But I jumped on the 6, the over 6, when he was confirmed. And I also took the Rangers minus 1.5 in this game. The Rangers are 10-2-1 in their last 13 games. And they have won their last back-to-back games 5-3 scores. If you look at it, the Rangers' last 3 wins were all 5-3 scores. So if you wanted to take a shot at the final score being, or the final result being the Rangers to win 5-3, I'm not sure the exact odds for that, but I know it would be a nice plus price. It could be something to look at. I think with Halak in net, it's definitely possible Montreal could get to 3. So, but when also looking at it, the Rangers have covered the puck line in 8 of their last 10 wins. So they're winning games by multiple goals. Montreal has lost 9 of 10, lost 6 in a row. They've given up 4+ and lost by multiple goals in 7 of their last 10 games. So they are giving up 4 or 5. They are losing by 2 or 3, and they're just not playing well right now. Rangers won their last 3 games in Montreal, covered the puck line in the last 2 trips to Montreal. I think it's a good spot for the Rangers in the puck line. I think it's a good spot for the over 6, and I do have 2 props as well. Mika Zibanejad to score plus 140, and Artemi Panarin to score plus 200. I think that is great value on both of those because both of those have been scoring lately. Nick, what do you think in Rangers and Montreal?
Yeah, I definitely capped this game with Shesterkin in net, so probably not as strong on my opinions as I was now that it's Halak in net. The thing is, though, I think it could be similar to when we saw the Blackhawks go up against Brian Elliott to a point where it's like, yeah, they're playing a backup goaltender, but is there really good enough to put up goals like that? And I don't think it is right now. Montreal has been struggling offensively as of late. So I took Montreal offensively completely out of this game. I took I did take Rangers -1. I got around -133 last night. But I also took the Rangers team total over 3.5. This has been a Montreal team that's been giving up goals as of late, and they've been giving up high expected goals as well. Because when we look at granted, these were all road games that Montreal just came off of a road trip. But their last 5 games were 6-3, 9-2, 7-2, 4-1, and 4-2. Their defense, their blue line and their defense has been horrible. Their goaltending has progressed back down to earth. It was decent in the beginning of the season. It's not anymore. This is a team that's going to start to tank for Bedard if they haven't already. And I had this game as a pretty well-margined game. Even with Halak, there's probably a little bit of value on New York here in this game. This tonight feels like a weird night where a lot of chalk is going to hit. It's one of those, in my eyes, a disgusting night where chalk's going to hit and things along those lines. I don't like that, but it is what it is. A lot of favorites graded out well for me today, which usually doesn't spell good news for me, but it is what it is. I'm on the Rangers -1 and the team total over 3.5.
All right. Well, as a person who cashes on favorites all the time, come over to the good side, Nick. Come over to the good side. Ryan, what do you think here? And Rangers and Montreal.
Well, I'm not too dialed in on what the Rangers are doing these days, but Montreal is playing really bad, and they've given up a goal in the first 5 minutes in the last 4 games, and the totals they're giving up in these games are really bad. Like, they had 9 against the Capitals, and I think it was 7 against Nashville, or 6 or 7 against Nashville. So it's just bad, and I think that they're gonna come out defensive tonight. They don't want to give up 9 goals. They don't want to give up a goal in the first 5 minutes. So I think this could be a 3-0 game or a 4-1 game, actually. And so I'm on the puck line. It looks like the best option to me. Montreal has the 31st best penalty kill since December 1st. So they're going to give up power play goals, and it's going to be the usual suspects for the Rangers. So I agree with Terry. I think Zibanejad, Panarin, Trocheck are going to score. So they're good props, but you're not getting great value because those guys put up goals pretty regularly. So the puck line's a play for me.
Also, you mentioned with the ranking of Montreal's power penalty kill there. I'm surprised Terry didn't mention power play points for some of these Rangers players. Maybe a Fox, Panarin, Zibanejad power play points tonight.
That's because I didn't look into it as in depth as Ryan did. But that is great information. No, Zibanejad at plus 140, Panarin at plus 200 to score. I like both of those even more, finding out about Montreal. But Montreal, I just know they've been giving up goals a lot. So good to hear that they are giving up power play goals because the Rangers have a power play that can be very dangerous. Tim said, "Morning, guys. Sabres for the cup." And then Turnsy asked a very important question. Tim, are you drunk? It's not morning.
I love how he pointed out, "Are you drunk?" and pointed out the morning part and not the Sabres for the cup part.
Yeah, well, we're all kind of used to that now with Tim, but we'll move on to Tim won't like my picks for Saturday's game. But
I'm shocked.
I'm shocked. We'll move on to the next game here. St. Louis Blues plus 140 to plus 150. New Jersey minus 163 to minus 182. 6.5s right across the board in this one as well. The Devils last night, I was leaning towards Devils puck line, but I just hadn't seen enough from them as of late to really jump on that. And I should have, because they pretty much dominated that game. I got Nico Hischier to score. I got Jack Hughes to score, and I'm going right back to both of those today. Jack Hughes plus 130. Nico Hischier has been on a tear as of late. It was his birthday yesterday. He cashed yesterday. I think he cashes again. Plus 180 to score. The over 6.5, minus 115. And also Jordan Kyrou to score, plus 205. I think that's a pretty big price for Kyrou, who is going to be the most dangerous. First of all, he's scored the most goals for St. Louis this year, but he's also going to be their most dangerous player with Tarasenko and O'Reilly out. So plus 205 is a pretty crazy price there. St. Louis has gone over 6.5 in 6 of their last 8 games. They've given up at least 5 goals in 5 of their last 6 games. So they're a great over team. New Jersey, a lot of their games have been ending with 6 goals. So that's kind of sucks when you have an over 6.5 and games end on a 6. But the way St. Louis is playing, I think we get the over 6. Nobody's been confirmed in net for New Jersey yet. I expect it to be Mackenzie Blackwood, which again would help with the over. So I like the over in this one a lot. And then the props that I mentioned. I don't have a side in this one because the Devils on a back-to-back. I could see some sloppy play. I could see an instance where they only win by 1. So I didn't take the puck line with them today, but I do like the over. Nick, Blues, Devils, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, it's interesting. The Blues are missing a few offensive pieces, and they've turned into a dead nuts over team. This is a team that's, I believe, 7-2-1 over under their last 10 games. I have this game projected for 7 goals, 3.61 to 3.39 in favor of the Devils. So about 0.2 goals in favor of the Devils, which means they probably should be around a minus 130, minus 135 for this game. So I do see value in the Blues in this one. I did take the Blues team total over 2.5. I expect them to put up 3-4 goals in this game as well. And it is Blackwood, which Blackwood, he's started 3 games since returning from injury. 2 of them have gone over. I believe that's the only 2 games that the Devils have gone over in their last 10 games have been Mackenzie Blackwood starts. So the Devils have been an under team, but that's with Vanacek. And Vanacek is the better goalie right now. So this is a Devils team that I have no problem backing overs with Blackwood in net. He's not been good. He's a below average goalie. And when push comes to shove, long term, they better stick with Vanacek as their starter because he's the better overall goalie. But for tonight, on this back-to-back, they're going to be starting him, and I like goals in this game. So I grabbed the Blues team total over 2.5, and I grabbed the full game over 6.5 in this one.
All right. If I was the Devils, I would look at moving Blackwood.
Mm-hmm.
Akira Schmid did really well when he played earlier. Okay, maybe he's not ready for the NHL backup position, but I'd give him a shot, especially if they do kind of find themselves, they do falter out of the playoffs, the Devils. I think selling Blackwood, because somebody will take him. Like there's somebody that will take him. Ryan,
Blackhawks Hollywood, right?
Yeah, they need a goal. Yeah, Ryan, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, I agree with Nick's looks on the over and the team total for the Blues. You know, in spite of losing their offensive weapons, and also Torrey Krug, he's an offensive defenseman, and he is out as well. But they're putting up goals, and they're playing kind of high danger offense and high event games. They played they beat Toronto in Toronto on Tuesday night. I think that's a big win, and the combination of coming off a big win, Mackenzie Blackwood in goal, and then New Jersey on a back-to-back where they have to travel from Detroit. I think this sets up for a St. Louis upset, and they're playing fairly well. So I think just for me, I'm just on the plus 150 money line for St. Louis.
All right. Isaac says Blackwood to the Sabres. No, I think the Sabres actually want someone who will stop the puck. So I'm not sure Blackwood would fit. He's more better for a tanking team. No, I'm sure. I think he would do better with a change of scenery. Sometimes that's what a goalie needs.
I got an interesting spot for him. Why not somewhere like Seattle or LA? Seattle would be a great spot for him. It's a brand new start, and you can't get much worse than Martin Jones or Philip Grubauer,
right? That's a good segue into our next game. We have the Seattle Kraken plus 180 to plus 192. Toronto minus 215 to minus 231. 6.5s right across the board. This one. Before I get to my picks and kind of my little breakdown here, looking at Seattle at getting close to plus 200 is it's kind of interesting here. I get it. Toronto is Toronto, and they are obviously a really good home team as well. But they did just lose to the Blues, and I think this is a little bit of a big price for the Leafs at this price. But when we're looking at this game, for me, there's one player I was going to bet no matter what, and that's William Nylander. I backed him in his last game to score over 1.5 points. Despite being a game-time decision, he came out and got me my goal, got 3 points, and cashed exactly what I needed to. He is going to play tonight, so I don't know exactly what he's dealing with injury or sickness-wise, but it didn't affect him last game. So I think he can score plus 140. I have Matthew Beniers to score at plus 300 and Jared McCann to score at plus 225. I also have the over 6.5. Both of these teams, especially Toronto as of late, Toronto's gone over 6.5 in their last 5 games in 8 of their last 10. Toronto, when they had all their defensemen out, played defensive hockey. And now that their defensemen are back, they're thinking, okay, let's go back to crazy no defense hockey, and games are going over. So both of these, Toronto did beat Seattle last year, 6-2 and 6-4. Both those meetings went over. Seattle's improved this year. Seattle's also gone over in 4 of their last 5 road games and 4 of their last 6 games. So I love the over here. I love goals on both sides. And I'm looking at Seattle at this big plus price and considering a bet on them in some kind. Nick, what do you think about Seattle and Toronto?
Yeah, I am on the favorite in this one. I got this one earlier. I got it at minus 139 for the -1 line with Toronto. I'm looking for them to bounce back after that bad loss against St. Louis. They were coming in off of a win against Colorado 6-2 in their previous start. So this was a Toronto team coming in playing well. And for me, Seattle's become a bet against team recently, and they have struggled as of late. So this is a team that I think it started off really good. I think they were due for some negative regression, and we've started to see that here. The goaltending has come back down to earth between Martin Jones or Philip Grubauer. They both have been pretty bad as of late. So I think the Kraken are going to continue to be a little bit of a bet against for me going forward, and I do have the Leafs here at -1 at -139.
All right, Nick is saying it's going to be a chalk favorites type of night. Richie says expect the unexpected. So if that's true, you might be in trouble, Nick, or me as well.
Probably.
But, Ryan, what do you think here? And Kraken and Maple Leafs.
Yeah, it feels like there's a lot of consensus in our group today. I like Matty Beniers to score again tonight. He scored against Edmonton, so I think he comes right back and scores again. And I think the reason that Matty Beniers is such a good look is that he was on a tear at the start of the season, and he's been kind of quiet. And I think the reason the factor is playing alongside Andre Burakovsky. And there's been a change in the lineup, and I think that he gets on a roll again now that he's playing alongside him. So I want to be on his goal prop as well. Another goal prop to look at is Yarncroke for Toronto, former Kraken, also a former Flame as well. But there could be a revenge factor for that goal prop. I like the over as well. Seattle just doesn't get into low scoring games. You have to go back and look in early November if they games where there are 4 goals or less. So I'm going to look for a live over 5.5 in this game.
All right. Yeah, that's definitely, if it starts out slow, you could get a live total for sure in this one. And yes, if you look at, so with props, you can't just look at, some people might just look at, Andre Burakovsky, he leads the Kraken in points. I'm going to bet him. If you look at what he's done lately, that's nothing. For at least his last 5 games, he has absolutely nothing. So you can't just look at what players have on the season. For me, with my props, I look at what players are doing right now. I want to see their last 5 games, and I want to see that they're scoring, and then I'll back them. So that's kind of how I do it. Tim says dogs. He likes the dogs tonight. I think the Kraken could be a good dog. I do. Because the Leafs at this big of a price, we know what they tend to do. But we'll move on along into a game that I'm not looking at the dog in, that's for sure. We have the Nashville Predators and the Carolina Hurricanes. You can get Nashville plus 190 to plus 210. Carolina minus 225 to minus 260. Sixes right across the board in this one. Carolina, their winning streak ended. 11-game winning streak ended with a 5-3 loss in their last game. Nashville has turned it on a little bit. 4-2-1 in their last 7 games. Previous to that, they lost 6 in a row. So overall, 7-8-3 on the road this year. But when you look at games when Carolina and Nashville face each other, Carolina has won their last 8 home games in a row against Nashville. It's funny. There was a YouTube comment, not on this channel, but on another channel I was watching on, that said, don't you pay attention to those trends. They don't matter. Well, Minnesota last night won their 10th consecutive game against Tampa Bay at home. And in the end, everybody's allowed to cap how they want. Different things matter to different people. Don't let people tell you that something doesn't matter, because everything matters differently to people. But Carolina 14-1-1 in their last 16 home games against Nashville. Nashville does not like coming to play in Carolina. Carolina also won by multiple goals in 6 of the last 7 meetings in Carolina, so they're not just winning games by 1 goal. Carolina coming off the loss. Yes, when a team comes off a long winning streak, it is possible they lose a couple in a row. But I just think with their domination over Nashville, with Max Pacioretty coming back. Apparently, he'll be floating throughout the different lines. He's not going to have a specific line he's going to play on. He'll be playing on the different lines throughout the night, which is kind of scary because you could end up having him on the fourth line somehow, and defensemen not being prepared for Pacioretty on the fourth line. So I like Carolina in this spot on the puck line, and I also have Martin Necas to score a plus 200. I think he's been scoring as of late, and I think he scores in this one against the Predators, and the Carolina Hurricanes win by multiple goals. Nick, Nashville, Carolina, what do you think in this one?
Yeah, one thing that does worry me when you mentioned there Pacioretty is going to be bouncing along between lines. I don't like that at all because that's not going to help with chemistry. If you're trying to find a spot for Pacioretty, put him on a line and play him there for a few games, and then if it doesn't work, move him to a different line. I don't think that he's somebody that just should be floating around. So that may hurt them chemistry-wise offensively tonight. So I'm looking for them to play a little bit better defensively, this Carolina team, after giving up 5 goals to the Rangers and 4 to the Devils. I expect them to bounce back defensively in this game. And it is going to be Pyotr Kochetkov in this one. And I believe it is Saros on the other side, which Saros has been strong this year. And offensively, the Preds have struggled a little bit. I had this game projected for 5.53 goals, so I went ahead and I took the under 6. I got it yesterday at plus 106. Now it's around that minus 107 to minus 110 range. So a little bit of a line movement there, money towards the under or line movement towards the under in this game. I did grab the under early at plus 106. I would play it as long as it doesn't hit 5.5.
All right. Ryan, what do you think of this one?
Yeah, I'm looking at Nashville on this one. So I'm a little bit salty because I played Nashville in that game against Vegas where they came back right at the end of the game and lost in overtime. So I'm a little bit salty about that. But there's some really good signs from Nashville. They're getting offense from a lot of different contributions. They're getting Roman Josi. Philip Forsberg has something like 8 points in the last 4 games. Tommy Novak, it looks pretty good. Connor Glass, there's just a lot of guys that are contributing. And I think that they can, I'm going to bet that they're going to get over their 2.5 team total in this game. I do see that the history and, it's kind of it's a long shot for them to go into Carolina to win, but I like them going over the team total in this one. And I think, I don't think that Nashville is going to be a pushover. I think they're going to give a lot of teams trouble going down the stretch.
All right, Preds all Ryan money.
That's true.
But no, I am on Carolina puck line tonight. But like I said, I don't like when you have a long winning streak and you lose one. A lot of teams tend to lose a couple in a row. So that's the only thing I think your Predators, if they win, it wouldn't completely shock me. That's for sure. But we'll move into the next one, Arizona and Philadelphia. Okay, that's all that needs to be said about that game. We'll move on to the next one. Okay. I guess I'll go. I guess I'll go through this. Nick seems like he wants to talk about it. So,
of course,
Arizona plus 126 to plus 138. Philadelphia Flyers minus 147 to minus 157. Sixes right across the board. 1-800-GAMBLER. That's all I have to say about that game. No thanks. I have nothing. I did not even look into this game. When there's a huge slate of games, this is one that just gets put away. Nick, Coyotes, Flyers, bum fight of the year. What do you think?
Bum fight! I love bum fights, and we get a couple really fun bum fights tomorrow. We get Arizona on a back-to-back against Chicago. We get San Jose and Anaheim. No, we get a couple great bum fights tomorrow. But this one's a good one too. And we do have a Philadelphia Flyers team playing good hockey coming into this one. They swept their swept their California road trip. They beat LA, they beat Anaheim, and they beat San Jose. So this is a Flyers team coming in playing good hockey, but not so fast here. This is a spot where I generally like to fade teams potentially as well. I had this game priced around a pick 'em. So I saw no reason why Philadelphia should be minus 140 in this game. I did grab Arizona money line. I got it around, I think, 131. And I grabbed Philadelphia's team total under 3.5 at -130, expecting them to kind of lay an egg in this game, the first game back after a successful road trip for Philadelphia. And I just think they're priced a little bit too high. So, yes, I love my bum fights. I don't discriminate on games. Generally, those bum fights have the least amount of people betting on it, which means the lines are softer. So I generally see more value in it. So, yeah, I'm on the Coyotes here, and I'm on the Flyers team total under 3.5.
All right. Philadelphia may be priced as they are because Carter Hart is returning to the net. But after a long injury, never know what you're going to get. It will be Vejmelka for Arizona, which means Connor Ingram will start in Chicago tomorrow. I guess if I'm saying this is a bum fight, Chicago and Arizona will be even worse tomorrow. But Ryan,
in that matchup, yeah.
Philadelphia, Arizona. What do you think about this game?
No play for me. One thing, Arizona hasn't won on the road in like 6 weeks. The early part of that long road trip they had was the last time they won a game on the road. And if any play for me, it would be on the over. But I'm not getting involved.
All right. Moving on along, we've got the Washington Capitals -182 up to -215. Columbus Blue Jackets +165 to +175. 6.5s right across the board in this one. Merzlikins will be making an appearance in this one, starting in goal for Columbus. Kemper for Washington. This one ultimately wasn't going to be a play for me when the day started out. But as soon as I saw Merzlikins is confirmed, I had to jump on Washington in regulation, which I got at -110. I did see it at like -130 to -140 at other spots. So the fact that I got it at -110 is why I pulled the trigger on that. I wouldn't bet it if it got to -130. That's not a price that I'd pay for that one. But I also took Alex Ovechkin over 1.5 points at +158. If you're looking for Ovechkin to score, that's -110 to -140. Not taking a goal scoring prop at that price, but he has been scoring in multiple games as of late, or multiple goals in a game. So if you want to look at that, you can as well. I took over 1.5 points at +158. If he gets an assist and a goal, I cash that. So I don't have to have the 2 goals. But I'm looking for another big night from Ovechkin and Washington to win in regulation in this one. Nick, Washington, Columbus, what do you think here?
Yeah, I originally had a play on this game, and for the first time in a while, I've actually bought out of a play because I liked the other side so much, and it was that much of a discrepancy that I needed to turn around and bet the opposite way. Because I originally had under 6.5 in this game because I had Korpisalo projected in net against Kemper, and the Blue Jackets have been a good under team as of late. But that's been with Korpisalo in net. That's not been with Merzlikins in net. Korpisalo has actually been a halfway decent goaltender so far. So his numbers were not as bad. Merzlikins has one of the worst numbers in the NHL when it comes to that, and it dramatically changed my cap for this game when it was him in net. So I had this game projected for the Capitals to score over 5 goals. So I got the Capitals team total over 3.5, and I got the Capitals -1 in this game as well, around -129. This is a spot where I expect the Capitals offense to be able to take care of business in this one. And I know Tim's plays, every single one he's giving out is some way or shape or form to help the Buffalo Sabres, so don't take him serious, guys. But yeah, I'm on the Washington Capitals -1, and I'm on the team total over 3.5. I wouldn't talk you off of props with Ovechkin. Oshie is another one you could probably look at as well. Or if you want to go down to that second line, Dylan Strome's not a bad option as well. I think they're going to see multiple lines producing offensively tonight for Washington. So I would lean towards those guys if you're looking at props, but I'm on the team total over and the -1 line with Washington.
All right. Tim says Ovi is just going to get exercise tonight. Ovi is chasing Gretzky's goal record. He's going to see Merzlikins down at the other side.
He's putting one in the back of the net for sure.
And this is a goalie who struggles. One of the worst goalies in the league this year. I'm sure Ovechkin's not going to be just going for exercise.
No,
he'll be looking for that. But Ryan, what do you think here? Columbus and Washington.
No play for me. This just didn't stand out for me. Good luck to you all, and I'll like to see Obi score some goals.
All right. And we will move on along to a very interesting game here. We have the New York Islanders and the Edmonton Oilers. You can get the Islanders plus 125 to plus 138. Edmonton minus 140 to minus 158. Sixes right across the board in this one. This game, when I looked it up, when you talk about past history, the Islanders do not like going to Edmonton for whatever reason. They think they've one win in their last 10 games there. It might go further back than that. So potentially right there, I'd be potentially wanting to look at Edmonton, but Jack Campbell is in net for Edmonton. So I have no interest in taking Edmonton in this spot, and I will not take the Islanders either in this spot. And I'm not taking the total. So an easy pass for me. Nick, Islanders, Oilers, what do you think here?
Yeah, I have 2 plays in this game. I bet the Islanders and the under. I don't like the under as much in this game because of Campbell. And he's really struggled. And once I put Campbell's numbers in there, I have this game projected for 6.6 goals. But I got under 6.5 last night. Yesterday, I got a good number on the under. And for the Oilers here, one thing we've noticed since Evander Kane went down, this team struggles offensively with teams that are able to slow down the McDavid-Draisaitl line. All you gotta do is slow down those 2 guys, which is not as easy said as done, but has been able to be done last few weeks or last few whatever, and they've struggled. And this is the same old Oilers that their depth is not the same. So especially with Campbell being ruled in, I originally had Skinner in net, but Campbell ruled in. I like that more for my Islanders money line. I don't like that for my under 6.5. I'm not going to buy out of the under 6.5 because I got a good line with it. So actually, I probably can turn around and bet the over 6 if I wanted to in this game, kind of middle myself or try to buy out of it. But I would probably look towards taking. I have the Islanders right now, and I'm probably looking at maybe turning around and taking an over 6, seeing that this line has dropped half a goal, as my way of kind of like buying out of the 6.5 that I have, because you can get over 6 at minus 108. So maybe hope this game lands on 6, a 4-2 Islanders win or something like that. That definitely worries me with Campbell in net. For my under. So I'm going to definitely be looking to hedge myself out of that under 6.5.
All right. Ryan, Edmonton and Islanders. What do you think here?
Yeah, this is a tough game to cap. I really don't, I really can't decide who's going to win this game. The one play for me is Matthew Barzal for a goal. He's one of the hotter players in the league, and I think he scores in this one. But it's probably Islanders a pass for me.
All right. We will move on along here to the next one. Pittsburgh and Vegas. You can get the Penguins minus 110 to plus 100. You can get Vegas minus 105 to minus 115. Sixes right across the board in this one. This one's a very interesting game. Pittsburgh has lost 5 in a row, coming off the loss in the Winter Classic. Chris Letang didn't play because of the death of his father. Tristan Jarry left injury. So Pittsburgh has been struggling as of late. And we've seen this earlier on in the year where they got into a losing streak and it kind of looked bad for a while. And then they hit that winning streak and they went on a long winning streak again. So they've been a streaky team. Not doing too well at the current moment. Vegas, 4-1-1 in their last 6 games. Logan Thompson started all 6 of those games. Aiden Hill will be getting the start today. So he has not started in a while. Pittsburgh won the first meeting this year 4-3, and they have done well. They faced Vegas 9 times. Pittsburgh is 6-3 in the 9 games. 6 of the 9 went over. So when these two teams face each other, it tends to go over. I like that Aiden Hill is in net. And I like that DeSmith is in that. Yes, DeSmith played well in the Winter Classic, but the Winter Classic outdoors, that was a rough game. Sorry, Isaacs, but it was still extremely boring. I stick by that comment. And it was obviously a low-scoring game. I don't think we get a low-scoring game in this one. I'm 99% sure Jack Eichel is returning to the lineup. He was said that he was supposed to be returning today. So that's obviously not 100% confirmed until they take the ice, but I'm pretty sure Eichel will be returning, and I think he will affect the offense tonight. In his first game back, the game will go over. Nick, Pittsburgh, Vegas, what do you think here?
Yeah, this was one of those games where I didn't make a play this morning during my show. I was waiting for a goalie confirmation, and I was waiting for Adin Hill to be confirmed, and I was going to take the Penguins team total over and full game over. And Adin Hill is confirmed, so I took the Penguins team total over, full game over. Especially seeing this at a 6 kind of surprised me because I had this game projected for 6.7 goals. So I saw a really nice edge here on the over in this spot. And Adin Hill has been way worse than Logan Thompson. That's the true goaltending question mark is their backup. Thompson's been fine. It's whether or not they're going to get decent production from Adin Hill. And the answer has been no on that so far. Maybe hitting the road will help Pittsburgh a little bit here because I believe most of their losses are actually at home, if I remember right. So maybe hitting the road. I know they were on the road last game in Boston, but that was a different type of game. Playing at Fenway Park, that was just a different type of game. But maybe hitting the road here, playing in an actual arena again, will help maybe snap that for the Penguins. As much as I would love to see them lose and continue to fall out of the Metro, so we can finally wean one of these teams out, so we have our 5 that are going to go to the playoffs in the Metro. But yeah, I am on the Penguins tonight. I got their team total over 3.5. I got that at $1.40 plus 140, and then the full game over 6 at minus 111.
All right, Ryan, Pittsburgh and Vegas. What do you think here?
Unfortunately, no play for me on this one. I do have one in Colorado, Vancouver coming up.
All right. So do I. We'll bring up that game here because that is the next game that we're going to be talking about. Colorado and Vegas, or Colorado and Vancouver. You can get Colorado minus 149 to minus 164. Vancouver plus 130 to plus 140. 6.5s. I do see 1.6 at BetMGM available in this one. Here, over 6.5 for me. I see goals on both sides. Colorado's lost 4 straight games. 3 of the 4 games went over 6.5. Vancouver's lost 3 straight. 4 of their last 6 have gone over. These two teams, even though Colorado was a heavy under team earlier on in the year, they are an over team as of late. They have question marks and goaltend in the net. And I expected Georgiev maybe not to look as bad as he was in New York, but I did not expect him to get off to the hot start that he did this season. But he's coming down to earth as of late. Vancouver has been scoring. 5 of the last 6 meetings between these teams in Vancouver went over 6.5. 4 of the last 5 went over 8.5. So these two teams, when they face each other, have been very high scoring games. So I took the over 6.5 at plus 100. I also have Mikko Rantanen in the score, plus 110. Obviously, plus 110, not the best price. But if you look at, he has 25 goals. The next closest player has 9. So he is by far the leading scorer on Colorado. It's not even close. And then when you look at Vancouver and you're looking at goal scoring props, you have to talk about Bo Horvat, plus 190. He also leads the team in goals. And when he's been scoring as of late, it's been multi-goal games and sometimes 4-point games. He has been really putting on the offense. So I see a lot of goals here. Give me over 6.5. Bo Horvat to score, Mikko Rantanen to score, all plus money in this game. Nick, Colorado, Vancouver, what do you think here?
I think we're at a buy low spot with Colorado. I'm expecting them to turn around a little bit. They're starting to get healthier. They struggled throughout the last few weeks because they were missing players left and right. They were missing McKinnon and they were missing others as well, big pieces. And I expect them to turn that around here in this game. This is a good get-right spot for them. They're taking on a Vancouver team that is one of the worst in the NHL, in my opinion now. Definitely a team I thought could be halfway decent heading into the season. I was dead freaking wrong on them. They were their goaltending's been bad. It's going to be D'Elia, which we've barely seen this year. And this Vancouver team defensively, they're one of the worst defensive teams in hockey. So I'm looking to fade Vancouver down the stretch here because defensively they're going to give up goals. So I got the team total over 3.5 with the Colorado Avalanche, as well as the Avalanche -1. And I think this is probably the low water point to maybe taking some futures with Colorado as well, because they are getting healthier. And their schedule does get easier down the stretch. So this could be a spot where if you guys have live point totals, maybe taking them over with Colorado. I know I like Colorado under, I believe it was 111.5 to start the year. That number was just way too high. But I do think this team is still a playoff caliber team. And I can see the other teams above them start to come down a little bit. Winnipeg and Dallas, I think, can come down a little bit as well. So this is a Colorado team that I think this is the ultimate buy low spot for them here. I have a -1 and the team total over. And I think now is not a bad time for futures with them.
Speaking of futures, I didn't mention at the beginning of the show, which I meant to, but I did lock in Minnesota to win the Central Division, +550 today. 3 games in hand against Dallas, 6 points behind. I think the Wild are going to be in the race all year long for the Central Division crown. And I disagree with Nick with Colorado. I'm not saying that they're going to miss the playoffs. They are getting healthier, so we are going to see some improvement from them. But if they don't get their goaltending issues in order, it's going to be a long season. It's going to be a short season for Colorado. Ryan, what do you think here, Colorado, Vancouver?
It's hard to cap this one because both teams are not playing well. Colorado on a rare 4-game losing streak. But I think they get it done tonight. So I'm taking them in regulation at a plus. I'm not sure what price I got. I think it was around even money plus 110. Vancouver, it just sounds really bad right now. Like I was backing them like a week or so ago. But if you listen to their media, like they're talking about trades with Horvat and they're trying to get Lafreniere. That's the latest trade rumor with them. They're also talking about Connor Bedard. No one thinks this team is going to be a contender, and they're thinking like, well, we could be in the lottery with everyone else. I'm going to dovetail on Nick's comment about the defense with Vancouver. It's just bad. Like this Ekman Larson guy is really important, and he's kind of ailing. It looks like he's laboring on the ice, and they've got this guy Tyler Myers who's kind of a liability on the blue line. It just looks really bad, and I know Colorado doesn't look very good, and I backed them in these kind of spots and not done well. But here, I just think they get it done. And I also like kind of the complementary pieces in Colorado's offense, like Comfer, Logan O'Connor, who, I'm kind of waiting for him to get a little bit hotter, and Evan Rodriguez. So, I know they've got such a good first line, but I'm looking at the second line and third line for Colorado for goal props. And I think this one probably does go over.
All right. And we'll move on along to the final game of the night. Boston and the LA Kings. You can get Boston -149 to -165. LA +130 to +140. 6s right across the board in this one. And this is a game that I didn't get to anything in. Really, I was looking at it and was intending on making Boston a parlay piece. But do I really want the final game of my parlay to be a favorite at the end of the night? Because that can, as Nick shakes his head no, that just sounds like a recipe of disaster. And it will not be all market net for Boston. I still have a hard time betting against Boston right now. So I will not be taking LA, but I won't be taking Boston right now either. This game's just a pass. Don't really have much of a feel for it. Nick, Bruins, Kings, what do you think here?
Yeah, this is a pass for me. But with Swayman and net, I do lean towards the underdog in this spot with the LA Kings. This does kind of feel like that slaughter spot at the end of the night where everybody's parlays. Because if the night plays out the way I think it is, people with Rangers and Leafs and Capitals on their parlays, and then they finish it off with Colorado and Boston. There you go. I think that Boston could be the team that sells it. Like I think the early part of the night could be a little bit chalky. So I definitely could see a slaughter game intact tonight heading into that last game. So I could see LA winning this one outright. Am I going to be betting this game? No, I was going to be betting Boston. This was one of them I was waiting for. the goalie confirmation. If it was going to be Omar, I would be on Boston -1. If it was going to be Swayman, I'm staying off with a lean towards LA. So to stay off with a lean towards the dog in this spot, it's a no play for me now.
All right. Isaac says that he loves that his best betting is against Ian's. And I would not love that. Ian cashes a lot of his best bets, so I wouldn't want to go against him. And then Jake says, just like last time with the Stars in LA. LA can be us if they play. If LA comes to play, they can totally beat this Bruins team. But it just doesn't. I don't know if LA gives their. I don't want to say they don't give their full effort. Yeah. But some games they just look so much better than others. So it's kind of tough to tell when that's going to be. That's kind of my look at it.
And don't look now. The Kings are only 2 points behind the Knights for first place in the Pacific, or 4 points, 2 games.
That's true. There's lots. If you're looking at futures right now, the Western Conference is still wide open. Lots of value in the Western Conference. Ryan, what do you think here? Boston Bruins, LA Kings.
I don't have a play on the side or total, but I have a prop, which is my best bet, and I'll leave that for suspense for the next 10 seconds.
All right, interesting. A prop is your best bet. I like it. I did say I would be on the Bruins -1.5 since last month. Yes, Isaac has been fading the Bruins every day, and now I'm not on them, and now he's on them. So there we go. Interesting. But going to best bets, I cashed wild money line yesterday. I had to do it, obviously, last night. And then I did have the one best bet loser. Cashed 4 puck lines before that. And when looking at it today, I like a lot of things today. I'm going to go St. Louis, New Jersey over 6.5. I think we get goals on both sides there. I want to give you Nico Hischier. Plus 180 is my best bet. I'm going to give that as a secondary best bet. But I really like Nico Hischier tonight. But I'll give me the over in St. Louis, New Jersey. Nick, best bet on the slate today. What do you like?
Yeah, I was looking between 2 different plays. So honorable mention to the Arizona Coyotes money line, plus 130. But my best bet's going to be the Washington Capitals team total over 3.5 at -120. I have them projected for over 5 goals against Merzlikins. I expect them to tee off. So there we go.
All right. Ryan, what do you think here for best bet?
Okay, the prop I'm looking at in this Boston Kings game is that with the DeBrusk injury, Taylor Hall gets moved up to the second line and also gets on the top power play unit. And I know sometimes it doesn't work out when guys move up lines. Sometimes they don't perform. But this is Boston, right? They've got a ton of really good people. And Taylor Hall is going to fit right in, and he's going to get a point. And a point for him is -115. And I just do not see a world where that doesn't cash.
Whoa, that's a nice price.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Richie says straight bets: Sean the Dark parlay, crack a money line, Arizona Philly over 6, Predators money line, St. Louis New Jersey over 6.5, Canadiens money line, Caps puck line, Isles Edmonton over 6, and Bruins puck line. Good luck. Isaac says fade the Sabres against the Wild. Obviously, we'll save that for Saturday. But if you do look at previous history, Buffalo does not like. Yes, okay, they swept Minnesota last year. But if you look at previous to that, because I know Tim was about to say something, they do not like facing Minnesota Sabres. Tim's best bet, LA in regulation and Vegas -1.5. IceX's best bet is Bruins puck line, and IceX likes to donate money. Hey, I see a lot of people donating money, but then when I say that they're making a donation, they end up winning. So I won't say that anymore. But best of luck to everybody.
Donations a few times.
Yeah, Nick's heard that before, and then happily cashed right after. So I won't say that anymore. But best of luck to everybody in your bets tonight. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the content, hit the like button. Shut up, Nick. I'm gonna take that out. Smash like button. We appreciate all the support, and we'll see you again for other episodes. Getting well with Terry and friends. See you later, guys.